JJ was on his path.
Okay.
He kind of accidentally got into boxing, YouTube boxing, fighting Joe Weller, got called out. He wasn't really serious. When he was joking around under a tweet or something, said, "I'll fight you." Next thing you know, he's training to box. I'm over here watching every boxing match I can. Just always been a fan of the sport. I've trained boxing for many years on and off, and same with MMA, and I'm a big fan of that too. And any combat sports in general. So I'm on my path. In the meantime, Kala and Nissa, born into an incredible boxing royalty family. They're very passionate, enthusiastic, and professional, and they're great. So the three paths met, and then DAZN's doing their thing. So we all it all just made sense.
Why should we respect them as boxers?
Well, they're putting in the work. They're challenging themselves. They have to anyone who has stepped through the ropes or been in a cage or been in a combative situation under professional circumstances, they know your heart rate's going to go up. You won't feel your legs from under you when you get that adrenaline dump. It's a challenge. It's a mental challenge. We're all human beings. No one's claiming from our side of things. We're not here saying, hey, KSI is going to fight Errol Spence. We're not saying KSI is going to fight Canelo. I mean, other people can say that, but they're a bit delusional.
Right, October Red Boxing here with Mams from Misfit Boxing. An iconic moment, and I will say that because this is the first time we've met. This is sort of like the dawn of the crossover, albeit there's been YouTube boxing before. This is sort of like the main one as it crosses over and works with DAZN Boxing. Welcome.
Thank you very much. It is an iconic moment to meet you. And basically, you're right. It's a dawn of a new era. I'm not discounting anything that's happened before us. That's all led to this. It's paved the way. But now we're doing it on a bigger scale with DAZN, amazing partners, with the Sowlands involved as well. And this is something that's going to build and build and build and progress and keep growing. And it's not limited to YouTubers. It's not limited to it's crossover boxing. So if you're a rapper, if you're an actor, if you're someone with some kind of following and you want to leave it all in the ring, settle a beef, do the training, get yourself mentally prepared for a fight, this is the stage for us. It's not at all trying to identify as boxing. It's crossover boxing, and there is a difference, and we recognize that, and we give all the respect to pure and classic boxing that's led us to the inspiration of this.
And that is leading on to what I was going to ask next. The classic boxing that led on to the inspiration. Misfits, as we know, is a collaboration, but let us viewers know how that started.
Obviously, JJ was on his path.
Okay.
He kind of accidentally got into boxing, YouTube boxing, fighting Joe Weller, got called out. He wasn't really serious. When he was joking around under a tweet or something, said, "I'll fight you." Next thing you know, he's training to box. Then it leads to Logan Paul Part 1, Logan Paul Part 2. In the meantime, I'm over here watching every boxing match I can. Just always been a fan of the sport. I've trained boxing for many years on and off, and same with MMA, and I'm a big fan of that too. And any combat sports in general. So I'm on my path. In the meantime, Kala and Nissa, born into an incredible boxing royalty family. They're very passionate, enthusiastic, and professional, and they're great. So the three paths met, and then DAZN's doing their thing. So we all it all just made sense. But yeah, I can't stress enough, there's nothing but massive respect for boxing. I would never put down boxing because it's helped me so much. Combat sports have helped me a lot, and discipline, mental health, and all things like that. And we'd like to influence. These guys have hordes of fans, so we would love to be a positive force that helps kids get out of trouble, stay disciplined, do the things it's done for me, help my mental health, help me become a stronger person in general and overcome adversity and challenge yourself. And that's what it's about. So if we can make a difference to people's lives and keep people entertained as much as possible, I think it's a really worthy thing that we're doing, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we like that. And also, as KSI repeated several times, people will be getting paid. We talk about this, the following that these guys have got in the millions of followers, the extra eyes that it brings into boxing. I'm from the traditional, the classic world of boxing. I'm one of them that I was kind of like open to it, so I didn't dismiss it completely. But there are a few of the traditional ones that are like, I'm not having this. They're not serious. How can we take these people serious? So YouTubers, they argue, they play online games. Why should we respect them as boxers?
Well, they're putting in the work. They're challenging themselves. They have to anyone who has stepped through the ropes or been in a cage or been in a combative situation under professional circumstances, they know your heart rate's going to go up. You won't feel your legs from under you when you get that adrenaline dump. It's a challenge. It's a mental challenge. We're all human beings. No one's claiming from our side of things. We're not here saying, hey, KSI is going to fight Errol Spence. We're not saying KSI is going to fight Canelo. I mean, other people can say that, but they're a bit delusional. But we're under no delusion. We're not under no illusion of that. We're creating our own space. We're not trying to disrespect boxing in any way. If anything, we'd love to contribute in any way, you know.
Carry on, it's all right.
Yeah, it's all right.
It was out.
Okay. Just making sure you can't see this new zit I've got here. No, I'm joking.
I've got plenty of them, I won't worry about
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm kidding. No, so listen, I think it's important we pay homage to it, but again, we're not claiming anything or taking anything away. So for the purist fan, they don't have to watch us. No one's saying you should. But if you put the two in different categories and you're like, I'm a purist boxing fan, I want to watch boxing matches. Then you say, hey, I want to watch some entertaining boxing matches from people who train, turn their lives around in 3 months, 6 months sometimes, and dedicate themselves to this. And they want to see the progression. And even KSI went from 215 pounds to 180 pounds, 175 pounds. That takes work. You've got to respect that. Again, not comparing, but at the same time, it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be a great show. Totally different. There's that press conference. You had a man reciting poetry to his opponent, right?
Character.
Crazy shenanigans are going to happen, but that's the world we're in. But once they're in that ring, they're very serious and they're all about it. So, I mean, I think that they deserve respect just for doing that alone. And if you have massive respect for one thing, it doesn't mean you shouldn't respect something else. Two separate entities, and that's it, really.
How do you see the evolution of this then? We're at the beginning, like you said, yes, it has been done before, but for a main stage like this is kind of like the beginning. Projection, you're a businessman. How do you see this, let's say, in the next couple of years? How do you see it evolving even more?
I think as long as there's creative energy flowing and channeled into doing things like this with passion behind it, as long as it's not for me, for KSI, for the boys, the partners, yes, of course, it's a business. We want to make money. We want to have a profitable business. But if there's creative energy and it's pure, it's coming from passion. So as long as there's that around, whether it's ourselves or someone else, this will continue. As long as there's content creators putting these things on or having beefs so that they want to settle or wanting to test themselves, there's going to be if there's a demand, there's going to be a supply. And that's all there is to it. I think to touch on your point previously about pay as well, I hear people saying it's not fair, this guy gets paid this, and boxers get paid such low level. I can't control that. What I can control is making sure anyone on our cards is paid fairly, paid on time, and taken care of. And as we grow and have long-term contracts, we will take care of medicals. We will make sure everyone is healthy and taken care of, and we're all partners, making sure everyone has a good time. So for me, we have to be responsible for that, and we have to, as we grow, this is the first one, so as we continue to grow and get bigger and bigger, I think that's an important aspect for me. I've always felt sorry for fighters who haven't been taken care of. And the other thing we can't discredit is, say KSI might get paid a good amount of money to fight here and there. That Jake Paul fight's going to be a big one, right? It's not that he's necessarily, if he started as a boxer, maybe he wouldn't get paid what he's getting paid, but he's put in countless hours of content creating, and that's not easy. If you try it, it's bloody not. You know, like, how many of you guys take selfies or make, you know, and have to take 300 of them just to make one stick? It happens, right? So when you're making a video, it's the same thing. You want to make sure it's great. they put in a lot of work into getting into the position they're in, which can then present the opportunity to box for a good amount of money. So we can't take that away from them. You know, it's not fair.
I respect anybody that gets in the ring, but like I said, from the traditional scene, we will always look to compare. It's one of them where, you know, it's like the older generation saying it wasn't like that in my day, and it's getting used to that change. One thing I will say then, okay, we're evolving at this point where there's crossover sports, cross promotion. That is stuff we like to see. I know we've got boxing sports games, but is it going to get to the point then where the next thing is that it's all computer generated and everything else starts to fade out? Looking at it like from we're going to look deep into the future. These guys become, say, for example, NFT characters or whatever it is at the moment, and then they start fighting and it completely goes into the virtual world, as YouTube is kind of like going in that way anyway.
So,
crazy comment, but I'm going to ask.
I mean, if that happens with crossover boxing, it will happen with pretty much every sport. So I love the human interaction. And look, I get called a boomer every now and then because I'm a bit of a traditionalist in some ways too. I want to have interaction. I want my daughter to carry on having her friends and her interactions. I don't want her sitting at home on a computer playing with an avatar, meeting other avatars.
Exactly.
But look, I can't stop it. I can just try to
Navigate it.
and leave an imprint of something positive for people to do. This is not Avatar versus Avatar. Now, we might have a Misfits game at some point for people.
Am I giving you ideas here? Should I be getting credited for this? Yeah, I need that.
But yeah, things are going to evolve. Things are going to go round in a circle, and you go with the flow of it and try your best to, you try your best to leave a positive impact on the world, and that's what legacy is about. That's it, really.
We like that. And finally then, for our viewers, why should we tune in and watch on Saturday night?
Because you're going to see the legendary KSI, godfather of the YouTube scene, musician with countless top tens, put his energy into the boxing world, become a real student of this game. He will display those skills against not one but two men, and second one being a professional boxer from Mexico with that Mexican style that's very dangerous. It's going to be a show, and then don't forget we have a stacked undercard, and it's all for bloody peanuts. So you're going to get your worth. You're going to get your worth on that night for sure.
Mems, thank you so much for your time. Absolute pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure is mine.
And we will speak again.
I look forward to it.
Thank you.
Hi, and thank you for watching October Red Boxing. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. You can also find us on Instagram at October Red Boxing and on Twitter, October Red UK. And remember, at October Red, we stay ready.